good to go.
Tremendous. What's up, everybody? How's it going, Denver? I hope you're doing fantastic. I'm gonna start with a bone to pick, and this came from Reddit, and it's basically just like a tired trope where people complain about the quote unquote food scene in Denver.
Hmm.
And we've covered this before. I think it probably stems from Anthony Bourdain's first trip to Denver for no reservations, and boy, did he just chop us a new one. And maybe at that time he had something to say. But, I think that Denver's food scene, especially if we're going to group in East Colfax, is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
There's, it might be a little too expensive here and there. Okay. I will agree with that. But if you're talking about like ethnic food from every corner of the globe, Aurora and East Colfax has, gosh darn, almost everything. So what I think I'm going to do for the next couple of weeks is just start with new restaurant openings in Denver to give people a little taste of what's coming down the pipe. So let's just kick it off. There's
Yeah.
the Hadnet Unity Cafe, which is Denver's first Ethiopian coffee shop that's opening up on East Colfax. So I don't know if you guys like Ethiopian food, but they got this like delicious kind of sourdough pancake. It's called injera that you kind of use, and I guess they're doing like breakfast scramblers with injera.
Nice.
That sounds delicious. I
Yeah,
can't I can't think of like what's like a main Ethiopian dish?
they do like lentils and like
Lentils.
stewed meats, and it reminds me kind of like of like Nepali food,
Okay.
like in its
Mm-hmm.
texture and flavor profile. But you eat it with your hands with this like pancake. So you take the injera and then you grab like some of
Yeah.
the lentils and then you eat it like that, like a little
Mm.
self-serve taco almost.
Yeah. I was actually at a Ethiopian post-wedding celebration recently, which this is a tradition. So this was like basically like another wedding reception, like a month or two after the actual wedding. So like they had their wedding, I think it was in Texas, and the reception and all that stuff, but then they had like another reception a month or two later here in Colorado. So I got to go to that. And yeah, that bread is really focused, like it'll essentially be like your plate almost, and then you're just getting loaded up with all different types of meat and vegetable dishes. And then they're also really big on the raw beef. So like they had like a whole cow, hung up there, and they would just be slicing off raw pieces of beef for you. And you would, the way that, we were taught to eat it is like you cut it really thin, almost like a nigiri or like a sashimi at a sushi restaurant. You cut it thin like that, and then you dip it into some spices or some like curry sauces, and then you eat it like that. So yeah, that's kind of a staple of the Ethiopian cuisine as well.
Okay, wait, paint this picture again. There's a cow hanging.
There is a cow, yes, a carcass,
Oh my
like,
God.
Wow.
and
That's wow.
there's a guy, and he is chopping it up for you. It, I kind of have a weak stomach when it comes to that stuff, so I wasn't able to handle too much of it. But he loaded us up with two, like, steak side, like filet mignon type portions of just the straight raw beef. And,
God dang, really?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
insane.
And they have like it's a really high grade like cow. Like they know that it's safe for you to eat it raw.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my thing. But a lot of people seem to enjoy it, and it's traditional. And but the spices that you would dip it in were like insane. The different like spices and seasonings that you could put on your raw beef. So I was kind of just eating that with the other stuff.
Dude, I'm in. It sounds more like a challenge than a meal.
That part of it was a challenge. Yeah, the raw
Yeah.
beef stuff's not for me, but I see how
Mhm.
people could enjoy it. It's just like sushi's one thing, but when it comes down to the straight up cow off the carcass, it's pretty tough for me to eat anything that's raw.
I've had a
Nice.
wagyu sushi roll before that had it was raw wagyu on it, like a very thin strip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've had that too. That's good.
Yeah, it was good.
yeah, that's
But
nice too.
Anything more than like a thin strip, that's a different territory of raw beef.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's presented in a way that's cool. I could probably do. I'm just imagining they're like a butcher has just like got a sword and he's just like chopping off shanks for you. Like,
That is, yeah. The guy was just there and he was ready to serve you up with some pieces, and like he wasn't. If I said a small piece, I was still getting like a huge chunk. So, um, they're all about it. So that guy was he was serving everyone up. He's had the legit carving knife and just whoosh, cut it right off.
amazing. Okay, I saw another spot that I think will be perfect for Troy when he comes back into town because now we're about that listening bar, whiskey experience
Hmm.
of ESP, which of course we love. So there's a new spot in Lohi called, I think it's called Malinche Audio Bar. So this is Chef Jose Avila new Lohi Lounge. It pairs mezcal forward cocktail menu with a Japanese listening bar vibes.
Mm.
So it says smoky yakitori skewers in an intimate music centric setting. So we're talking about like Japanese food with mezcal margaritas. Like this sounds incredible. This is at 32nd and Navajo.
That looks amazing. I'm looking at a
Yeah.
Reddit thread right now where this was shared, and even the plate of food that Jose Oliva is holding looks good in this image.
Oh my gosh, I got to look at some pictures here. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Now, if this Japanese listening room, I don't know why it's Japanese. I think Americans have had hi-fi for since the beginning of hi-fi, but we'll give it to them. But
Hmm.
man, if this is the new trend that we're listening to like rare groove, R&B, deep jazz cuts, I mean, this is great. This is great for
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, this will be a must check out next time I'm in town.
Oh, so yeah, Jose is behind uh La Pozole. Wait, yeah, La Diabla Pozole and
Oh, is
Mezcal.
that his too?
Yeah, which is a Michelin bib taco spot, and it's really really good. Um, wow, let me try to see Malinche Mezcal Bar. Yeah, he's doing it right. I mean, if you go to La Diabla, that place is insanely good. They have all like really good tacos. They do like bone marrow tacos. They and then they also one thing that's just like amazing is you can get oh my god, they have their chicken tacos or I'm drawing a blank on freaking chicken pineapple tacos. What is it? What are those?
Oh yeah, Pastor, is that it?
Yeah,
Pastor.
yeah, you can get al pastor tacos there for like 250 or like $3 a piece, um, which is like a great price for the quality of al pastor that they're doing. And when it's like a game day at Coors Field, they'll set up a big grill out front and sell those same al pastors for that cheap price. So they're pumping those out.
Yeah. Last time I was at La Diabla, I don't know if I told you guys this, but the presentation is beautiful. Like they bring it's like it's experience. It's great. But we ordered like the black pozole and like the green and maybe the red. I don't remember. But then we got a couple other entrees. I don't know why we went so crazy. It was just Heidi and I. But they brought out the wrong two entrees. And so I
Oh,
started eating it, and then we're a couple bites in, and was like, "Oh, this wasn't what we ordered." And so I went to the waitress and was like, "Hey, this isn't our order." And so she she went to take it, and I was like, "Oh, I mean, we already ate it, but just want the other stuff too. So can we keep it?" She's like, "Okay." So we ended up eating like four four dinners with pozole. The place is
oh
amazing.
man.
It's so good. But yeah,
Wow.
this place looks really cool.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think we'll have to check that out. Okay, what else? Kazaki, the owners of the Sushi Den, have opened a high-end omakase sushi experience on South Pearl Street. So right next to Sushi Den, they're opening another sushi spot, which seems brilliant. Do you know what omakase sushi is, Tom? I don't know if I've heard of that.
Yeah, an omakase is when it's a chef curated menu. So you just pay one flat rate, and then you'll have like X number of courses prepared for you. So let's see what they're doing here. And also they have Otoro down there. They have Sushi Den. So if this is gonna be another one, this is crazy.
Dude, Wash Park is just all
Ototo.
sushi now.
They have added Izakaya Den and Ototo in a single stretch. Yeah, they're all right next to each other, and they're all full all the time. I've seen, so yeah, I see this omakase counter. Sushi Den, I went there a few weeks ago for a friend's birthday, and I didn't think that it always had this second side to it. Maybe they just expanded into it. But it's a huge second side, and I saw the omakase table here.
Cool.
And yeah, I don't know how many courses they're going to have with this. But yeah, there's a couple other omakases in Denver. I'm sure that this is going to be like top of the line though, because Sushi Den's already at the top.
What was that? What was that sushi documentary that came out a couple of years ago, where it was like this kind of thing, where it was like the chef, you just sit down, you pay top dollar, and the chef just prepares you whatever like he's gonna prepare. Wasn't that it?
Yeah, this is pretty much like that. So it looks like this one is going to have around 20 courses in your seating.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, so approximately 20 courses. But this
That's
will
a lot. Wakase.
it will be like each course is like one or two bites, you know. They're usually really small plates. It'll be like one piece of sushi or like one nigiri. That's like a course, and then the next thing will be like, but they're always all prepared really, really well. And just like new, it's a way for the chefs to show like new innovative things that they're doing.
Cool. I'm going to list a couple more in the newsletter. Go to realgooddenver.com to get the newsletter of new restaurant openings. But one more is Fortune Nong Jia Lee. I think I pronounced that right, but it's Chef CJ Shee's latest concept in Edgewater. I don't think it's in Edgewater Market, but it's right over there off 20th. Brings northern Chinese country cuisine to town with hand-pulled noodles and home-style dumplings in a casual setting. So don't mind if I do. Those soup dumplings, man, that might be my new favorite go-to.
Oh yeah,
Those are deadly.
Those are deadly.
love those.
Nice. So yeah, I figured next couple of weeks I'm just going to lead with Denver restaurant openings, largely because I'm a starver and I'm always hungry and looking for new spots, and I always end up going to the same old spots. But man, it's tired to say, oh, Denver doesn't have any good food. It's like, no, you're just being lazy. So I realized was part of the problem. I can be a little bit more adventurous and get the word out. So that's what we're going to do. Nice.
Cool.
Troy, let's go to Troy's sports takes. What do you got cooking this week?
Yeah. I just saw a report today. I don't know where this source is coming from. Actually, no. It's coming from Shams, so he's the #1 NBA reporter. So it's a pretty solid source. That LeBron James is likely to pick up his player option for next year. So that means that he's going to give it at least one more season on the Lakers, at least one more season in the NBA, likely in quotes. So there's been a lot of thoughts about retirement. I think he has like a month left to opt in. So it sounds like we might get at least one more LeBron season. So interesting stuff. He will be 41 next season, the oldest player in the NBA.
Thank God. We need LeBron in our life. He can never retire, at least when he's playing at an elite top 5 level.
Seriously. Yeah. And the NBA, I'm sure the NBA they do not want him to leave yet. They're trying to milk that as long as humanly possible. So it looks like we're getting at least another year of LeBron.
I mean, I think at this point, and correct me if I'm wrong, like he's got to just finish it out with the Lakers, right? Like it says here, he would become an unrestricted free agent if he declined his player option. he would just be done, right? He wouldn't go to somewhere else just for like a year or two of like an insane contract value, would he? Like he's probably got to want to stick it out with the Lakers legacy that he's got.
That would make the most sense. His son's there too. I don't like he probably wants to be on the team with his son. He lives in LA, his family's there. I couldn't see him going anywhere else.
But how much do
Imagine
you
though,
think that would be? If
yeah.
how much do you think any other team would pay to get him for like a year or two?
A lot.
But that wouldn't be the play. He would do it. I would. This is my assumption that he'd do it for a run at the championship. So let's imagine he does next year with the Lakers to satisfy his contract. Then maybe it's like, oh, he's LeBron, so let's say 5 to 10 million. He's like, all right, one more year. I'm taking my talents to Denver, Colorado,
Wow.
dude,
That
and
was
get him under salary cap. And now you got LeBron James.
yeah. That was my thought is like maybe he would go somewhere to chase a title with like a serious contender. But I mean any team would sign him happily, not only because of the winning factor, but just the amount of business he's going to bring to your
Yeah.
team. And so it's just a smart investment signing LeBron on your team. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are the two options I think. I think you got a point, Ryan. I can't rule out him pursuing like a championship run with some team that's like right there, ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is though, I mean, having LeBron would be amazing on the Nuggets. It'd be so cool. But what is LeBron going to get us past OKC, man? Their defense is just staggering to watch, man. That game last night was just like a heartbreaker. I mean, I like OKC. I'm pulling for the Timberwolves, but
Mm,
it's just like, God, they're so good.
yeah, and I think the Timberwolves they were having a great game. They were shooting like 60% from the field. Like if you shoot like that, you're gonna win the game 9.5 times out of 10, and the Thunder still won. So it's just like
What are you going to do?
yeah, they're the heavy favorites to lead to win the championship right now. There's another link in the show notes about that. They're minus 390 at all major sport books, which is heavy favorites. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It just, I mean, Chet is unbelievable. He's such a gangly looking guy with a weird haircut, but god dang, can that guy ball?
mm-hmm. He's like sneaky athletic for his
Yeah.
gangly looking size. Yeah.
I mean, he's so big and weird looking, but God, he's sneaky athletic. He's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's definitely OKC's to lose right now. Like this is all the marbles are in their court. Lastly, I was just taking a look at the predicted season win totals, and the Broncos are at 9.5, which puts them kind of right there in that wild card playoff territory. So, Vegas thinks the Broncos are going to be a playoff team this year.
That's what Vegas is saying.
Mm-hmm. So 9.5 wins. That's a solid amount of wins. Right up there with the Texans, Commanders, Rams in that range. Buccaneers, Bengals are all at 9.5. So things are.
I'm not agreeing with this. Dude, the Broncos are going to win 12 games at least. That's my prediction.
That's that. I mean, the highest projected total is 11.5. That's for Chiefs, Eagles, and Bills. So that would be if you want to put that bet in, you'd have a serious payout on your hands.
I might have to do it. I don't have the apps, but I might have to go to MGM Sportsbook and put that down because my prediction: Chiefs falling off, the Broncos rise again, the Raiders going to be sneaky in the season, and the Chargers going to be awful. There's my prediction.
Okay, put it in. Put it in. But yeah, I think it's a good sign though. 9.5. That's a solid. It's not an overly zealous number, but I think it's solid, and I think they're gonna go over it too. I like 10 wins. I think it's the sweet
10
spot.
wins. How many normal season games? Is this only normal season?
Yeah, I think there's 17.
17 now. Yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
17.
So what's the like playoff qualifying line? Is that like 10 wins kind of?
It depends on how everyone performs, but typically 9 and up, you have a really good chance of getting in.
Mm, okay.
9 to 10, somewhere in there is
Yeah.
like
Who's at the bottom of this list? The
the Browns.
Browns,
The Browns and the Jets.
Yep. Saints, Titans.
Browns, Saints, Jets, Titans, and Giants all at the 5.5
Just
line.
just supposed to be awful.
And
So,
we played the Titans and the Giants and the Jets
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the
So
Jaguars. We got to get Travis, dude. I'm getting tickets to that. Is that at home? Jaguar Broncos. Oh, it is, dude. I'm getting tickets to that. I got to see Travis.
Yeah, December 21st at Mile High. That'll be his first game in Colorado as an NFL player.
what's
Christmas.
what's going on with New York City football here? I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
how are we two of the worst teams?
I know.
You got the Knicks though.
The
So,
Knicks are alive. I was just looking at their game coming up tonight, so
mhm.
they could tie up the series.
Yep. That's right.
Dude, the Knicks are nice too. It's going to be OKC and the Knicks, and I am happy about it. That's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a great finals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it for sports takes. I quickly wanted to go off on a separate tangent because I know you guys have been going to the vibe coding meetings. So I have not been to a vibe coding meeting. I am learning about vibe coding just on my own. I'm isolated, from the community. And
All you need is vibes.
yeah, I need to connect with other fellow vibe coders. And I'm not sure if this has come up in your guys' vibe coding meetings, but what I found out this weekend is that essentially if you publish a website on Lovable, it's invisible to Google. Have they talked
Invisible.
about this? Yes. Have they talked about this?
Wow.
No, how so?
So essentially, the site code when you publish the website is rendered for the client side, which is you, which means search engines don't see the content. And there's a tool called a Google crawl simulator where you can check what Google is seeing for your SEO. So I made a website like over a month ago and it's still not showing up on Google, and I've taken all of the steps and I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I found a video, a comprehensive walkthrough of why this issue is happening. And these guys are basically like, it's invisible to Google until you do this. And they give you a list of prompts you can put into Lovable to rearrange the HTML code so that Google can properly crawl all of the SEO on the website. And
Hmm.
I spent a long time this weekend figuring this out. And I just wanted to shout out this video because these guys totally break it down. And I had no idea this was an issue with Lovable.
Me neither, dude. Will you send me the prompts?
Yeah, we got to check it out because I've used Lovable to optimize SEO and everything. I haven't actually published yet through it, but
Mhm. I would do it before you publish or enter it into Google Search Console
okay,
to do this.
interesting.
Um,
Yeah, because that would be detrimental for the tool that I'm currently building. So,
oh yeah, I just sent the YouTube video in the chat, and there's a link to there's two different prompts you have to do. There's a link to it in the description of that video. Um,
I
they
just.
also
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joy.
they also recommend deploying the site not through Lovable, but a separate entity. So I use Netlify, which is free.
Hmm.
And it's really easy to sync your project with GitHub, which communicates all the code over to Netlify, and you can deploy. And I tested it with the Google crawl simulator, and everything's there. So it's a
Nice.
crucial step if you want to publish a um, public-facing website on Lovable, which I didn't know this, but Lovable is like primarily for apps, and that's why the code is client-facing. So
Hmm.
I learned a lot this weekend. So I was just curious if that convo had come up at the vibe coding event. This is a Lovable specific thing, it sounds like. So some other vibe coding apps might be set up differently.
It's fascinating. I had
Cool.
no idea, and I was doing all those steps that we talked about, Troy, to see, but I hadn't checked the search console. It
Hmm.
seems like I wonder if it's malicious. You know what I mean? Like if they're going to sell like a SEO optimized bundle at some point. I
I don't know. I was trying to think of why that would be the case. One is it's primarily for apps, apparently. So it's like the HTML renders differently than you would for just like a website.
Yeah.
Also, this is totally a this is like a conspiracy theory, but they could have it so that it doesn't automatically create public facing code to limit the saturation of like shitty websites people create so
Mhm.
that maybe Lovable is not responsible for like just mass saturation of random websites people are creating that Google could flag Lovable as some sort of like non-credible source. I don't know. That's just a conspiracy theory, but yeah, look into it a little bit. It's interesting. And if you want to check if your website SEO is visible to Google, you can use the Google Crawl Simulator.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice,
Very
man.
cool. Have to check that out.
That's my vibe coding tangent.
Nice. Very nice. I got some bones to pick here. I'm setting this up for a nice TikTok clip, so just be warned, everyone. So we talked about a few weeks ago the big rebrand with 16th Street Mall, dropping the mall and becoming 16th Street, right? Well, the 16th Street revamp, $175 million project. So much construction been going on there for years. I think something about 9 out of the 13 intersections are now complete. But we spent $100,000 on a branding team that decided to remove mall, right, from the branding. So now we're just 16th Street. And I got a bone to pick with that team because just last night, 5,000 people went down to 16th Street to see Fisher. They had a huge stage set up. Fisher, Side Piece, Odd Mob, big show down there. And the 16th Street Mall street signs are still up at at the venue. Would you not think? And they did a huge release about this 16th Street rebrand. Would you not think that they would change the freaking street signs to the new 16th Street signs? All the content, all the 5,000 people coming down there, all the videos that were made that are getting posted and shared. Who's leading the decisions on that rebrand team and not getting that intersection signs changed out? That's what
We're gonna need
wonder.
another 100,000 for that.
Yeah, I really don't get it. So huge missed opportunity from the 16th Street rebrand team. I mean, Fisher's down there throwing down huge production, and you still got the old signs up, and you just announced the rebrand like 2 weeks ago. How are you gonna miss that? I just
I
don't
know.
get it.
Well, that it sounds like a great idea too. They're getting events going down there and stuff.
I really don't get it. I mean, it seems like a really cool event. I did not check it out. The tickets were really expensive, but it seems like they had it set up well. It did seem like it might have been a little bit oversold. People were packed in there, but
No kidding.
they're getting things done down in 16th Street. And I think I saw something like 24 new patios for the businesses along 16th Street, part of the project. A lot more walking space, room to breathe down there. And I think just general like cleanup operations, part of this $175 million revamp. But $100K on the branding team that removed mall. You better switch out those street signs before the next.
You better remove it.
Yeah, before the next multi-million-dollar event on 16th Street. It's just such a missed opportunity. I don't get it.
Yeah, but did it look good though?
It looked good. I saw lots of videos. You can go on and check it out what it looked like now. If you go into Instagram, you could type in Fisher or Denver, or you could even, if you have Snapchat, you could go to like that 16th and Welton intersection. So it was right on Welton. I was able to look out from my balcony here, stick my head down the street. I could see the lights, but I didn't actually go down there and check it out. Just saw the videos.
Nice. Nice, man.
right?
Well, you know what they need? Gondolas.
Mm-hmm.
If you could gondola over the stage, that would be
That would be
sick.
sick.
They they're gonna have to like position their lasers and everything, make sure that gondola riders aren't getting hit.
Doubt.
So that's my beef with the 16th Street rebrand team. Another newly announced project, an 11,000 square foot walkway at the Denver Capitol building. So I think I saw this one through Developing Denver. But Governor Pohl is unveiling the renderings for the new pedestrian walkway honoring Colorado's 150th birthday. It looks cool. I mean, I don't really get what the point is other than for like protesters to walk on. I think
Is it on the across the street, or is it like on the Capitol?
so I'll post in our sheet right now and you guys will be able to see the renderings. Just I'll link it right here so you can see. I
11,000 square.
I don't know what else this walkway is going to be used for other than for people to walk up to the steps and then back down. You don't have it goes over what is that? Lincoln Street.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow, that's tripped out. Like
it's
they're
cool.
doing.
It's cool.
It is pretty cool.
I don't know the point. I mean, this is so typically your protests and your public action initiatives and events start right up there at the top under the steps, right?
Yeah.
This would help those because then they usually start their like marches from there. So whoever's participating, something like that, they would meet there and then they'll do a march, whether it's around downtown or wherever they're going. So now they don't have to cross Lincoln Street.
And they won't stop traffic.
Yeah, that could be. It could be a good use case for it, but I think it's mainly just to look cool. Hopefully, it doesn't become a hotspot for nefarious activities up on the top
I
there.
mean, it's like it's a little bit jarring because this is like a very iconic block in Denver, and this is like it's like someone scribbled with a red crayon on it.
Yeah, I do see that piece right there.
It's kind of why. I mean, I don't know. It looks like you could skate it. That would be cool.
Yeah, well, it says, he's thrilled that Coloradoans can now visualize this walkway and its amazing positive impact on our community. So they're going to make this walkway an important piece of public art for all to enjoy.
So it's more of like an artistic, architectural design, maybe rather than something that's like purely for functionality.
Yeah, I don't think it's meant to be solving any issues, I guess is what we're getting at. I think it's meant to look cool, just be a cool new thing. But hey, it's going to look nice, that's for sure. It's going to be a cool addition to the area, maybe give it a new feeling down in that Civic Center, which is more and more used every year. More events, more concerts, festivals and things happening right in that area each and every year. Why not? It looks cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's gonna take me a minute. That's a shocking location, but it looks cool.
And it's happening, so it's a definite.
It's going.
A lot of the stuff we talk about here is like either in the works or seeking approval, but now this is going down.
Nice. Well, and I mean, I do like, if we're talking about arts and crafts, I'm more of a crafts guy.
Mm-hmm.
Art is kind of subjective. A lot of art, I'm just like, ugh, that's whack. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the Denver Blue Bear, for example, or the like dancing figures in front of the Performing Arts Complex. It's like, it's fun, it's cute, I get it, whatever. But I'm not much more of an art guy, more of a craft guy. So something like this, where it's architectural, and it's artistic, and it's kind of like looks like a snake, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
but it also has a purpose. Like you can walk on that. You can cross over Lincoln without being harassed at the corner of Broadway and Colfax, which is,
Yeah,
kind of treacherous.
that's a tough spot. The bus station
It's a
there.
tough spot.
It's a tough area. So I think there part of this initiative is to revitalize that area as well. I think a year or two long construction zone gives them a reason to remove people from that area.
Yeah.
But I think that's gotta also be part of this initiative is to just revamp that one dreadful corner, that one intersection that is like supposed to be the main bus hub of Denver, but has somewhat become the main crack cocaine hub.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and architecturally, they did we're dropping giant boulders all over the place here, so people can't camp out on the sidewalk.
Yeah, that something needs to happen there. So I bet this is part of that initiative as well.
Cool.
But hey, yeah. So then a couple quick events we have from our friends over at Drink Denver, the 12th annual Whiskey and Donut Festival this weekend. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, but unlimited whiskey, unlimited donuts presented by Lamar's Donuts and our friends over at Drink Denver. Check it out.
Check it out.
You're in there for $83. Yep, $83, including your fees. Early entry, VIP, couple bucks more, but you're drinking whiskey and you're eating donuts. I think your 3-hour time slot is going to be plenty. 2.5-hour time slot, actually. They're bumping it back for this. It says very clearly here, pace yourself. Okay. But, I do think I might have to hit up our friends at Drink Denver. This is a fall time event, right? Mm. We love them. They know what they're doing. They know what's right.
Just because it's the brown water or what?
I feel like whiskey and donuts, I want to be, I want the leaves to be changing. I want like a cool breeze. I hope that it's nice and cool out there, because if it was hot, say it's, 90-degree Denver sunny day, how long are those donuts lasting, first of all? And how much whiskey can you stomach?
Mm-hmm. It's a good point. You need a scarf.
Anyone hitting this up, let us know. Yeah, the scarf. And you get those nice glazed donuts coming out in the fall, like they're getting well preserved because the temperature is perfect. They're coming out 90 degrees in the sun and they're melting. Anyway, I know Lamar's knows what's good and Drink Denver knows what's good, so that's just my 2 cents. But you see, I'm not an expert in this subject.
I agree, though. There is a fall character to any kind of brown water activities, in my opinion. But
yeah. We love all those people over there. So that sounds fun. That's this Saturday, and then 2025 City Park Jazz concert schedule is released.
Nice.
I think we are starting it off on June 1st, which is this Sunday, with Blessing Bled Chimanga.
Nice.
Looks cool. Internationally acclaimed artist renowned as a marimba player, singer, songwriter, and percussionist from Zimbabwe will be kicking us off this Sunday. And then you have just an endless string of events for the City Park Jazz, concert series that happens every year. So I think this is the year where I get over there and check it out. I actually have not seen it yet. But it's at that pavilion, right on the lake with that big structure behind it. I don't really know what that building was used for, but it's a good spot. So
it looks packed too. Like there's the whole lawn is full in the picture on their website.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I know that's a really popular thing, and there's plenty of space that you can't see in that photo, but that's the main crowd.
Dude, you want a fun fact, a trivia? If you're on the cityparkjazz.org website and you see the third band is a Tomga, They're
Mm-hmm.
playing Sunday, June 15th. Shout out to those guys. A bunch of those guys are my boys. They've been doing this for like 10, 15 years at least. Fun fact, if you look at that picture on the right hand side, shout out to my boy J Ball. He's got those three congas.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say this may have been 20, maybe 22 years ago. I sold him those congas.
No
Those
Nice.
way.
are LP classics. They have
Wow.
the oak with the gold hardware. And there was a time that I played congas in all these like Latin percussion bands, and like I played with this metal group called Calemesis that was from Costa Rica, but they played metal, but they wanted to have a white boy playing congas for some reason. So anyway, I was
Mm.
doing that a lot, but I wanted to make a record, and I was like, the band broke up I was with, and I had all these songs, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sequence all these songs into an MPC 2000 XL with the floppy disk. So I sold J Ball those congas and bought an MPC and then made a record with it.
Hmm.
Wow. And they're still going strong.
Still going strong, yeah.
Wow. That's a crazy story.
Yeah, and the Tonga, man, they're beast. I'm trying to see if anybody else in the band I still recognize. I'm sure I know a couple of these guys, but they've been doing a long time. There was a group called Lion Vibes, which was an all white reggae band in Grand Junction that was absolute world beaters. Shout out to Lion Vibes, they were amazing. And when that group broke up and a couple other groups, they formed a Tonga, and it's like a Afrobeat group now, and they're super sick. They're so fun.
That's cool.
Nice.
It's a pretty big group, it looks like.
Full horns, backup
Yeah.
dancers, the whole shebang. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Wow, that's cool.
yeah,
Sunday, June 15th,
yeah.
performing.
Go say what's up.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of jazz, Ryan, I've been meaning to ask you. I want to get down to Ophelia's. I haven't been there. Feel like you're the guy to go with. If I remember correctly, you had a big part of their, initial programming there. So, got to get down there, and maybe we could find out a way to organize some sort of event or some sort of What's Good Denver meetup at a place like
That's a
that.
great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. That would be cool if we did like a monthly thing and just get people together, especially if we could mobilize. Like, let's say if we mobilize 24 people,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big group to take anywhere, and we
Anywhere,
could
yeah,
go to like
even-
different
I think we
bars
could,
and restaurants.
I think we could safely even get a couple more. So I think that we should explore that and see. Maybe we could gauge interest through the newsletter if anyone would be interested in coming down and shoot and shop about Denver events and just all things Denver about what's good.
We could do special guests.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
speakers. We could do a live recording.
Live recording, yeah.
Live recording. Dude, this could be the opportunity to reach out to Denver sports legends. I know Terrell Davis still lives in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, Terrell Davis, come to the What's Good Denver pop-up event.
Mm-hmm.
Sign autographs. That'd be amazing.
I mean, if we got Frank Azar signed on for a live recording, I think we'd be pulling thousands. We might need a reserve mission ballroom for that. So,
Yeah.
it was something to think about.
I like where your head's at here.
And I'm gonna move us on to summer nights, sunset yoga with silent disco at the Denver Botanic Gardens. 27
Wow. Bravo, sir.
$27 yoga and silent disco socializing, garden picnic and socializing, BYOM, bring your own mat, blocks, props, whatever you wish to use, your water bottle, and then you can come picnic, enjoy beverages after the yoga class. There will be a silent disco portion event
Dude, amazing. At Botanic Gardens.
at the gardens. Get in there. I wanna go down to that bonsai tree section.
Yeah. Koi ponds.
Yeah, I want to get in the bonsai section. I want to have some vinyasa silent disco music bumping in my headphones. And that's how we're going to do it. So it seems like this is going to be happening through the summer, a couple, probably once or twice a month. And it looks like first one's going to be June 11th, 6 to 8 p.m. You have to go on the Botanic Gardens website to register. So check that out. And then we'll run through a quick Red Rock schedule. I'll share the screen so everyone can see what's going on. Tuesday, tonight, the Black Keys with Hermanos Gutierrez.
Nice.
Nice.
And then tomorrow, Lord Huron, support from Molly Lewis. That is also on Thursday. Lord Huron, The Strange Trails Tour. Friday, Michael Franti and Spearhead. Saturday, Yoga on the Rocks at 7 a.m. And then Ganja White Night with Liney, Mary Droppins, Chef Boyar Beats, and Thread. That's Saturday evening time. And then Sunday, Peach Pit and Briston Maroney. Support from
Nice.
BNNY. Monday, Louis C.K. Which, didn't we see Louis C.K. at Red Rocks, Ryan?
Bill Burr.
Wow, we saw Bill Burr. I bet Louis C.K. will be good as well, though. That's Monday at 7:30 start time. Red Rocks Comedy is coming up. Oh, we went down to the bottom here. I think that's all we got until next week's show. So, yep. Check
Thanks,
out Red Rocks.
That's cool. Michael Franti's amazing. I saw him at DIA once. He was super cool. Really nice guy. He's the type of guy that would show up at a silent disco yoga event for sure.
Really?
Yeah, he's a good dude. He played basketball at Georgetown with Patrick Ewing, if you can believe it.
Oh, whoa.
Michael Franti
And
Spearhead.
I haven't heard of him.
He's cool, man. He's kind of like like Ziggy Marley, if Ziggy Marley was from DC. So
Okay.
he originally was in a group called the Disposable Heroes of Hip Hoperacy,
Okay.
which is a bit of a mouthful, but they were badass. And then he went solo with an album that was called Spearhead that was really cool, and it's kind of like a little bit more I would say like bohemian kind of hippie vibes. And he just went all the way in and just started doing festivals and touring with the band and stuff. But he's pretty cool. He's got some good songs for sure.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
You got a Sheryl Crow on June 10th.
Nice.
A little ways out. What's
All
that?
I want to do is have some fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Soak up the sun. Classic.
Santa Monica Boulevard over by Troy.
Yep. Exactly.
Cool. Well, we're about at time, so I want to encourage everybody to head over to the newsletter. I like this idea from Tom about maybe we do a meetup. Maybe we put a meetup together, put a little energy behind it, see if we can get Terrell Davis there. That would be a lifelong dream for me.
Absolutely.
In the newsletter this week, I'm going to do a whole bunch of news. I'm going to do a bunch of sporting events. A bunch more events. There's so much going on. Like, everything's just ramping up and turning on right now. We'll have the volunteer opportunity, of course, that people can check out. And just maybe the one quick news bite while we got a couple of minutes here. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is about our Southwest city cousin Durango, but there was a pet kangaroo named Irwin that escaped again. And local authorities had to wrangle him,
Yeah.
So
he escaped again.
Again, so Irwin's got a problem.
Okay.
He's an escapee. I mean, how did they not realize how he escaped the first time?
Yeah, maybe there's something wrong with the place he's in. I don't know.
Is he escaping from a zoo, or where's he escaping from?
It's a good question. It says a pet, so I wonder if it's private residence.
I didn't know you could have a pet kangaroo. Is that legal?
I don't know. I do not know, the rules for marsupials within a civic area.
Yeah.
But there's a picture of him, and he's not small.
This is one of those stories that raises more questions than provides answers.
Yeah, if you got to wrangle a kangaroo, like how are you gonna tackle that thing? Like, do you get a double leg those back legs, but then you got to worry it's got claws, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's
I
very
don't know.
interesting. Kangaroo Durango, Colorado is not a place I associate with kangaroos.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I think it would be too cold. I wonder if it has a sweater
Mm-hmm.
for the winter months.
Right.
Hmm.
But I mean, this one guy, they got a picture of him in custody. This cop, like, got him. He just, well, maybe he's nice too. He doesn't look like he's putting up a fight. So
Mm,
maybe you could just like click at it like a cat and
yeah.
He'll come over, get some beef jerky or something for him, and
Oh, it says right here, kangaroos are among the unusual but legal animals to keep in Colorado.
look at
wow,
that.
Okay.
Dude, how do you
very,
get a pet kangaroo?
very interesting.
Okay. All right.
He's
I don't know, man. It seems like kind of a suspicious looking pet.
Yeah.
I mean, that that they fight because everyone's seen those videos where they'll square up on people every now and again. Those big ones. This one doesn't look like one of those big yoked kangaroos.
No, not one of those. Tell
But
it's
you what though, if I have a kangaroo, I'm not letting him escape twice.
yeah.
no.
It seems like it says here he wasn't difficult to nab when he got loose last fall. Still quite young at the time, he leaped into a bag similar to a mother kangaroo's pouch, and they had him caught that time.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah,
He's like in a hammock. Like I'm safe now.
yeah. He just leaped into a bag, and that was all they needed to do. But
Oh
just got the old potato sack out and capture big baby kangaroos that way.
man. Yeah. Oh man. All right, boys. Good episode.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Great episode, guys.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, realgooddenver.com. Sign up on the newsletter. We got more guests coming your way soon and some new promos and giveaways. I got a couple of things cooking with Samana, so stay tuned and we'll do a big Samana giveaway here soon for your float tanks. But other than that, man, thanks guys.
Yeah,
Cool. Cool.
thanks. Great episode. See you next week.
Cool.